18 months ago, I was renting an office above this cafe, an office that I really felt was that God had led me to, and a real sense that this was a place where that was going to become a mission centre. Didn't quite know how that was going to turn out, and now 18 months later we find ourselves running this cafe. And it has really been quite a remarkable journey. We developed various things that we're doing in the cafe, groups that are running on the first floor, in the first floor lounge space. And then about 3-4 months ago, the cafe went bust. And we were presented with an opportunity to explore running it ourselves, which seemed like a pretty ambitious thing to do. We looked at raising money, generating volunteers, refurbishing. And we managed to do all of that. We raised £10,000 in a matter of 24 hours at one point, recruited a cafe manager, somebody who knew how to run cafes, which is always an advantage. And so here we are, running a cafe. We've been running for about 4 weeks now. And it's been quite a roller coaster ride, but definitely a sense that God has been in it. When people enter this cafe, they're not entering Christian space or church space. This is the church entering the world of the high street, so that people can walk into this cafe and what they'll experience is not Christian culture. They'll experience a really good welcome. They'll experience a really high level of hospitality. We hope that they'll experience love and blessing and perhaps a sense that God is there. But really it's about building relationships. It's about the local church building relationships with people outside of the reach of traditional church and using a cafe space in which to do that. What's at the heart of this cafe is a missional community, a community of predominantly volunteers who are committed to being involved in this cafe. They sign up to a series of values which are inspired by the rule of life that Poole Missional Communities has at the centre of everything that it does. Most of those people are Christians, but some of them aren't. And what we feel very strongly is that what we're committed to doing is to doing mission with people, not mission to people, not mission for people, but mission with local people. So stuff that's inspired by the values of the kingdom of God, things around justice and the environment and loving and serving and blessing people, all stuff that's around, that is part and parcel of what it is to be part of the kingdom of God. We believe that people want to join in that sort of thing, and we're experiencing that here, that people want to volunteer here, they want to serve people well, they want to serve people with love and hope, which are the two values that we ask people to sign up to if they're not Christians. And through that they are becoming part of this missional community. They join in the rhythm of prayer at the beginning and at the end of each day, and feel very comfortable. So they're starting to belong in a community, a missional community that has Christ at the very centre of it, and they can journey deeper into that community if they want to. If they don't want to, that's absolutely fine. We've built a relationship with them. They're part of that community. We set up Poole Missional Communities. It's a charitable company. It oversees all that we do, and we're very clear that at the heart of Poole Missional Communities are a set of values expressed in a rule of life, and that everything that we do, we refer back to those values and say, is it expressing those values in some way? Is it incarnational? Is it building relationships with people outside of the reach of traditional church? Is there a sense? Is there a kind of community element to it, so that people are coming into community in some way, and so that helps us kind of hold together. It gives us a real sense of we're not just sort of firing off initiatives willy-nilly. We're doing something that has a very clear sense of a set of values at the core of it. So it helps in that sense, and it helps. It gives us a bit of structure, gives us a bit of accountability. We have a set of trustees, a set of trustees who hold those values, who are kind of guardians of those values, which is really important. And it helps us financially as well. We can fundraise to that charity and give people a clear sense of what they're giving money to. And so it's helped in terms of financial sustainability. It's always going to be an issue. It's always going to be a tension, I think. We haven't solved that one completely yet. But we are, I think, in a better position in terms of financial sustainability than we were 18 months ago. We were very clear that what we wanted to do was avoid the Sunday morning thing being the main thing of church, that tends to use so much time and resources in terms of volunteers and funding and maintaining the place in which worship takes place. So our worship on a Sunday morning is very all-age and very participative, and the idea is that the groups that take place in households can be, and are for many people, church, and they have a very missional focus to them, encouraging people to make relationships through various things in their workplace and in their streets, and then perhaps that those places will be a context where people can come and explore faith. And we are finding that is bearing fruit. We have 2 or 3, 4 people who come to a group on a Monday night. We eat, we share food around the table, and then we commit to reading a chapter of the Gospel each week, and then just open the Gospels and explore the Gospel together using 3 very simple questions. You don't need to do a huge amount of preparation. The idea is it's so simple that anybody could lead it.
In a way, trying to get us to...
18 months ago we had a group that were really based around felt making. We had 2 people in that initial missional community who were felt makers, and so we started running felt making workshops to which a number of people came and enjoyed making felt. And then the opportunity came about a year ago to move that into the first floor lounge here when the cafe was being run by somebody else. And that really became a community that we called Space for Life. It was about creating a space that in a sense was just a sort of step away from the busyness and of life, of normal life. Tends to be mums with kids at school. Just come up, get a cup of coffee, do something creative. Into that we put just 5 minutes of stillness and quiet where a short passage from the Bible is read and people are encouraged to reflect on that. And that community has grown, and people have invited others. We've done workshops in other places which has also drawn people in, and now there's a growing community of ladies meeting in this cafe on the first floor every week, doing all sorts of creative projects and always stopping for a moment of stillness during the morning. I think our vision is to see small groups of people gathering around the Gospels in very informal ways that are very inclusive, very low threshold for people from unchurched backgrounds. What we're seeing in the household, I think, could morph into lots of different contexts. It could be, around the lunch table at work. It could be in this cafe, around the coffee, with coffee and cake. All sorts of different times and different places can become places where people can simply gather. Usually a bit of food and drink helps kind of oil the conversation. Study the Gospels, meet this person Jesus who's at the heart of the Gospels in very informal, participative ways. And very simple ways, that it doesn't require huge amounts of training or huge amounts of money to resource that sort of thing, and maintain the principle of being small and being inclusive. One of the principles we have for the small groups is once it exceeds the amount of people you can fit around a table, it's time to multiply into 2 groups. So you apply that principle anywhere, and I think you could get the kind of rapid multiplication of small cell-like churches into lots of different contexts, which could be incredibly powerful.